Hi everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Doing Better with Bree. And honey, we have some things to discuss. Now, if you're new here, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for the algorithm. And honey, let's get into it. Now, y'all, so much has been going on. So much. So much. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I will say October has started out so interesting. It's so much going on in the world that I don't even know where to begin. So we're just going to go topic after topic. So just stay with me here. And if you have anything to say, please leave it in the comments because, honey, what is even going on in the world these days? First thing on the agenda, Diddy. Diddy was denied bail again, you guys. He keeps asking to get out of jail, and whoever he really ticked off, they're not letting him out. They're not letting him out basically because they're saying that they feel like he's not only one, a flight risk, two, that he will threaten the witnesses. And I mean, he's filthy rich, so I can understand why. Like, really, when they really don't like you or when you're being prosecuted against, having money is really bad for you because they see you as just being able to quickly get away. Like, you're more likely to get out and just be able to wait till your trial when you dead broke and then it already took a look into your assets and they like, you ain't got no money, you good. But unfortunately for him, they have denied him. His mother, his kids, everybody was there at his last court appearance. His mother came out with a statement saying that her son is not the man that you guys are portraying him to be. And a lot of people just are like, yeah, okay, ma'am, we hear you. We hear you. But I mean, there's not much to really say about this. Everyone kind of feels the same. He needs to serve his time, do what he needs to do. But they don't really care what happens, like, at this point to Mr. Diddy. Like, he can stay in jail. We've seen the videos. We've heard the witnesses. Him trying to get out of jail is just him just like, no. I'm too rich to be in here. But no, you're going to serve your time just like everybody else. Now, he should have been smart like his homeboy. I think it is Russell. Didn't Russell go to like a country or somewhere that you can't get extradited from? At least that's what I'm hearing. I'm going to put something up here to show where he at or what they saying. But apparently he is not coming back. They are out here pulling people's cards left and right. And it's so crazy to see how at one point everybody wanted to get invited to a Diddy party. And now they are all trying to disassociate themselves with ever being cool with him. Isn't it so crazy how far the mighty have fallen? So if you just wanted a quick update on Mr. Diddy, there you go. He ain't getting out. Yeah, I still got the sticker on the bottom. I don't even care. All right, next we go on the docket. Helene and Milton. Whether you're in a state that was affected by it or not, we are all affected by watching how Helene and Milton then came and tore stuff up. So Helene came first and she was, doing her big one. But Milton came and tore everything down. There was a lot of people that didn't even leave when they knew that Helene was on the way and they thought they had seen the worst or that they had survived the worst hurricane of their life. Unfortunately, that was not the case. There were a lot of people that were displaced, do not have a home, and are out of cars, assets, everything. And they were not prepared. They have no flood insurance. Now, people, if you're out here looking for a car, there's going to be a lot of cars to hit the market. So please don't buy a car right now because it's probably a Milton car. It's going to be for a really great rate on a nice car. Watch out because it probably has some type of flood damage. Two, all the rentals in all of the southern regions is pretty much taken. It's really been hard for anybody to get a rental car because obviously these people had to evacuate and go somewhere. There are a lot of people who cannot afford to leave, so they stayed and they tried to thug it out. And it was so crazy and cringy to hear the governor say, if you stay, get a Sharpie and write your name on yourself so that we know how to identify you. Crazy. They're still dealing with the damage and the pickup from that. So if you know anybody and you're willing to help or donate to anybody down there, please make sure you donate to people directly. These charities are not giving the money to the people or the victims. They're gatekeeping a lot of it. So when you see people that are affected by it, give them the money directly. That's how I feel like I'm helping out. I don't want to give to these charities that's not giving the money out, just holding it. And unfortunately, it's like that. FEMA is around here playing with Americans. $750, and pretty much everybody that has applied is saying that they're not getting the money. They've been denied for some crazy reason. So hotels have hiked. They're doing price gouging on the hotels and the flights out of Florida. Those poor victims, those poor families, those children are going through a lot. I haven't seen anything like this since Katrina, honestly. And even though they're not, I think they're saying that the death toll is as high as Katrina or close to it. So I'm just really taken back. And I'm even more taken back by the fact that people did not want to leave. They thought that they were going to thug it out. And there was a lot of people that lost their lives in Helene, like 200 something. And they're still trying to count and get through all the damage to figure out how much loss of life there was from Hurricane Milton. Because, honey, no. I don't even know why people want to live in Florida at this point. There is also rumors going around, and I don't know if it's a rumor, and I don't know if you're a spiritual person or you believe in this, but the Indians, the indigenous people, they are pretty much saying that there were some burial grounds that were in Tampa that were dug up by a construction company or locals, and they dishonored and they basically played with those sacred remains of an Indian tribe. I'm not going to even pretend like I know how to pronounce the tribe's name. I'm going to put it here. But basically that's what happened. They're saying that this would have never happened and Tampa would have never had these type of floods or had these type of hurricanes or any of these issues had they had left those remains alone. A lot of people are believing that is the reason why that there is back to back hurricanes and the damage is what it is and so catastrophic. A lot of these people did not leave because they had never even seen water in their homes before, let alone thought that it was going to be this bad. But if you're a spiritual person, an Indian person, they're believing that is the reason why, that they messed up those people's remains, disrespected them, and now they are dealing with the wrath of it. And they say that the burial grounds were preyed upon, or there was some type of ceremony to keep hurricanes away from Tampa. They're saying that the whole point of those being there, those burial grounds being there, and people praying over them and having this whole, ceremony and ancestry around it was to protect the people in that local area. And those remains were disrespected, and they are saying that is the reason for the chaos. So whichever way you believe it to be, but understand, it was bad. Hurricane Milton came through and messed a lot up. There's going to be a lot of displaced people in your local cities, especially from the south. In the southern regions, we're going to get a lot of kids and a lot of families enrolling into schools lately. So keep that in mind and hope those that are around you are doing okay. And pray for those that have been displaced and hope that they get themselves a living situation that they can not only, one, feel comfortable in, but two, afford. Because the hotel night tonight, it's not it. It's very expensive in these hotels. So keep that in mind, you guys. The next thing we need to talk about is this election. Guys, it's getting close to the day when we're going to have to make a decision on who we are going to have in the White House, honey, and my nerves are bad. I don't know about yours, but my nerves are bad at this point. I don't really like to talk about politics because it has gotten really bad. Like, if there has never been a time to talk about politics before, and we were, I understand that you're not supposed to talk about that in, certain settings, but honey, I don't like when people talk about it at all. It's gotten so bad to where people are falling out over who they're choosing. People are really getting disrespectful at this point. This is the most pettiest election year I have ever seen. And they are doing some diabolical things when it comes to these candidates. I mean, I don't know if anyone's been watching lately, but they basically said that Miss Kamala was caught basically having an earpiece, that her earring is an earpiece, that she's being fed what to say through it. There's also been rumors that I think CNN had altered her speech on when she was asked a question. They aired one, and then later they showed a preview of one answer, and then later they aired a complete other response. So they gave her a chance to basically re-record her response. And that is why a lot of people don't like going live with CNN, because they said that they alter what they say, they cut and screw and chop it. And that is true. Everyone kind of understands that mainstream media is dead these days. Like, no one really pays attention because half of it is fake or changed or adjusted in some type of way. That the realest news you'll ever get is those that are boots on the ground, real investigators, real people these days. But unfortunately, we still have these CNN places that try to finesse people into into believing what they want to believe. And a lot of our older grandparents and parents still believe that what they see on there is real, even though we obviously know that it's most likely finessed, changed, or altered. But yep, that just happened with Miss Kamala, and people are up in a frenzy. Obama came after black men, basically saying that you guys are not voting enough for her, and that black men have not shown a lot of support for Miss Kamala, and that's an issue. On the Donald Trump side, people are getting on him for a few things, not wanting to set up certain interviews. I don't keep up with too much in politics, but I do know that I'm getting pressured to vote, and that soon, guys, we are going to have to make that decision. The voting day is coming in so many days. I think it's like less than a month at this point. And if you're voting, vote. And if you're not, don't feel pressure to do anything that you don't want to do, because some people don't even feel like their vote matters. I'm not going to say that it doesn't matter, but I am going to say, like, we know that when it comes to politics, a lot of us are just iffy, period, because we feel like they're lying and everything is rigged. So at this point, don't get too in depth with it. Vote for who you feel like resonates well with your life, and leave all the other stuff behind, okay? Like, don't let people get in your ear and tell you who to pick. Just do what best suits you, okay? We're going to get into some relationship topics, because at this point, everybody out here is either getting out or getting in or trying to find somebody, right? So at this point in life, we need to make sure that we are not just choosing any option, but we are choosing the best option. And therefore, we take what we see other people do and we learn from it, okay? We are going to get into a Halle Bailey conversation, DDG, and then it's going to lead into some personal tea that's going on with your girl Bree. Okay, so let's get into it. All right, so as we know, Halle and DDG are not together. He came out, if you watched my last video, and said that they are not together. Well, he was on his live stream, and he basically was saying that he is not sure about their relationship status, because they are just taking a break, that he has no intentions on getting any other woman pregnant, having any other baby mamas, and that he wants to, you know, eventually work it out with Halle. Halle hasn't come out and said anything. She hasn't said anything, but she did post, you know, herself in the gym, and then like pictures of her and her baby, and saying that life is good. It seems like she's not taking the breakup or the break as hard as people would think. They thought Miss Halle would be devastated that her kid's father and her broke up. But these days, women are taking it a lot better than you expect. It's not as devastating to hear that a woman is not with her kid's father anymore, or getting a divorce. At one point in time, it was shamed upon, but at this point in time, it is celebrated amongst women. We celebrate each other, especially when we know what woman to woman, what a lot of women go through. Narcissism, cockiness, men's egos, cleaning up, taking care of, being disrespected, men can ruin your whole self-confidence. Like, I know a woman who said that she felt gaslighted by her man because he always told her how beautiful she thought she was. She went into his phone one day and she went through his stuff, and every girl in there didn't look anything like her, but he was loving and liking all this girl's pictures. All these other women's pictures, but couldn't even take the time out of his day to like his own girl's pictures. And she felt some type of way. And woman to woman, like, those be the little things that get us to the point of like, you know what? It's thing after thing after thing after thing. I'm done. No reason to be upset. We're still good. Life's good. So seeing her post that life is good just lets us know, like, we don't really have to worry about Ms. Halle. She's doing just fine. So anybody who was worried about her emotional and mental health, she seems like she has a strong circle around her of people that are going to make sure that she's okay and that she gets through her breakup fine. Unfortunately, a lot of women don't have good support systems when it comes to breakups. So you will have to seek guidance from influencers, friends, family, the church, whoever you can, to help you get through that. And any woman currently going through a breakup, girl, keep your head up. It ain't nothing to fret over, okay? There's a lot more guys out here. And once you get to the point where you are comfortable being by yourself, honey, there is nothing that you want to disrupt your peace, okay? I promise you. I promise you. It's okay. Halle, Bailey, and DDG, we don't even care. We don't even care if she never go back. She seemed happy. She's saying everything's good. So there's no point in us worrying about her. I love to see the post that life's good. So keep that in mind. Now let's get into some tea about your girl Bree and daily life, baby. Stay right there. Now, I am a woman that is always trying to do better, Bree does it better, right? So I am a mom. I have 2 kids. I have an ex-husband and a young baby daddy. So I had one child extra young and raised that child by myself, and to the point where I decided to get in a relationship, get married. Unfortunately, it did not work. So now I have 2 children, 2 baby daddies, and it'd be a struggle sometimes dealing with life, but life is life, and it's not a story that hasn't been told. So let's not get all too deep into that. That's not the point of this. The point is that I am literally a walking example of what happens after. You can make it, girl. You'll be okay without any of your baby daddies. But at the same time, if I had the option to go back, pay attention and choose better and vet my persons better so that I didn't have to have a baby daddy, then you know what I'm saying, and still be with my partner raising these children, I would be happier doing that. Unfortunately, that's not my case for the current children I have. Not saying that if I don't have any more kids, I don't really want any. But in the event that I have any more kids and I get in a relationship, a man could not get me pregnant without marrying me. Now, like I said, I had a child young. When you're young, you kind of know the relationship's not going to work. High school, you're going to be like, yeah, you're going to be more than likely raising that child by yourself. I tried again later in my 20s to a man that was older than me. He decided to cheat. Baby, I ain't staying. I'm out of here, okay? Now, what irritates me is when I see you women who been on birth control or didn't have no kids from the time you were 16, now you dang near 30 and you get pregnant by a bum. And I mean that. Getting pregnant by, it doesn't even have to be a legit bum, but I'm just going to say it's a bum when they allow themselves to release inside of you. And, yeah, he has no discipline, because a man that actually wants a wife, a family, and a marriage, those men, they move a little bit smarter. They're going to wrap up for those missions, and they are going to make sure or ask the questions to their partner. Are you in a situation where you are taking preventative measures so that we don't have any kids out of wedlock that are unnecessary? I know that I have 2 kids, but trust and believe, honey, I'm still fine and still beautiful. I could have had like 6, 7. I could have kept being one of those girls that kept like just letting a dude love bomb her, or keep, you know what I'm saying, all up in her into giving me more and more kids. Because ain't nothing stopped when me and my husband divorced. Like, I was still getting dudes, and there were still opportunities for me to get pregnant, still opportunities for me to have children, still opportunities for me to have another 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 baby daddies. I made the conscious effort to choose not to. I made the conscious effort to either, one, get on birth control, take that plan B, or abstain from dealing with certain men, especially men that have wild behavior, as in not wrapping up and or feeling comfortable enough letting themselves go on me, and we don't even have anything going on. If you're dealing with a man like that, then girl, you need to get up out of there. That's childish of you, and you're too grown. Now, I hate to see this. I literally do. And so I'm going to go and I'm going to tell you, because I'm a big sister and I have younger sisters, like 4 of them. So I will tell them, big sister, little sis, don't do it. Now, I know a girl, she's a sweet girl, and I really thought that, and no shade, but this is a reason to learn. There's a girl that is a really sweet girl that I know. I always put her on such a high pedestal that she would get married and never allow a man to get her pregnant out of wedlock or just in a little bit of time. But unfortunately, I feel like, I don't know if desperation was kicking in, the eagerness to have a child, or the fact that she really just liked this man, but she allowed herself to get pregnant by a guy that she hasn't even, I don't believe, known for a year, taken no true vacations, done any real dates or anything significant to solidify a mature and or grown relationship. But she is now pregnant by him. Now, this relationship can either go one or 2 ways. He can go ahead and settle for her and go ahead and give her the ring to give her the honor that she will be looking for, because he doesn't want to make her look bad, like she just one of them ones letting the dude just have his way and have a baby with her. So if he's a good old boy, he'll listen, but that doesn't mean that he's ready. That does not mean that he wants you. That does not mean that this is what he wanted to do. Usually the parents have some type of conversation with these boys when that happens, or these men. And I'm going to say boy here because ain't no man should be moving like that, but it happened. Especially when near one of these people have their stuff together. So ladies, let's just give me a rundown. If you do not have your own house, you do not need to be getting pregnant. If you do not have your own anything, you do not need to be getting pregnant. If you are dang near 30 years old and you go out here and you get pregnant by a regular dude who stay at home with his mama, shame on you, because you are beautiful enough to have waited out and found a man that had a plan to get you pregnant, but yet marry you first. and put you up in a situation. Okay, put you up in a lit situation. But unfortunately, a lot of you young girls are doing what I expected. And you're not even young. It's not even young girls. It'd be whole grown women, 29, 28, 30, 35, doing this diabolical stuff. So I'm going to just leave the young girls out of this. Just women in general. Y'all wait all this time to have a baby. Then you go get pregnant by the first guy you think look good. And that's just it. You done baby mama yourself willingly? I never baby mama myself willingly. Y'all women are letting these men baby mama you willingly. And then if they marry you, everybody's just going to snicker behind your back because they only know that he's getting with you because he got you pregnant. Probably will still cheat on you when you're not looking. You're going to have to keep up a look. You're going to have to stay fine. You're going to have to be a mom. Being a mom is no joke. And especially, it don't even hit the same when you have a baby by a man that you're not even married to. It don't even hit the same. And don't let that man hurry up and try and marry you in the pregnancy, shotgun weddings. That's so ghetto. It's just don't let it be any worse and more embarrassing than it is. Hopefully, a lot of times, not even a lot of times, so I'm sorry, but hopefully, sometimes these men, they start to fall in love with you as the baby's here, and they will marry. Okay? But I'm going to be honest. We hear the stories, and 65% of it, the men will say, I felt guilt-tripped into marrying her because we had a kid together, but I didn't genuinely love her. I didn't want to be in this relationship, but we're here now. Don't be one of those girls to where we're here now, and a man has to rush and pull the pieces together to provide you for life. Because when they rush and try and pull the pieces together to provide you and this child for a life, they in turn end up resenting you, taking a lot of anger out on you, being sneaky when you're not around, and really just feeling like you might have trapped them just because you were getting older and or wanted a baby. So, don't allow yourself to be baby mama. This ties in with the Hallie and DDG. She is what my friend was, a good girl that allowed a man to get her pregnant. And he didn't have no plans at the time of being with her. Now he's trying to renege on it because people are saying that she's the prize, that dude, you lost out. So he wants to renege and say, oh no, I want to go back to my kid's mother. I want to work it out. But I promise you, if people did not say that to him, that he was the one losing out because of who she is and her clout and her name, he would not be rushing over there. Right now, he gets to go play in the streets. And we'll see if he truly wants to go back home when he's done playing in the streets, because a lot of guys act like they want to go home, but they don't. And do you really even want a man that allowed himself to have a baby with you, didn't put you in a better situation, just gave you a baby, told you he loved you without showing any actions? Do you really want that? No, you don't. This is coming from someone who has kids. You don't want that, because when you're left alone with those children and he running the streets with the next chick, are you going to be able to handle it mentally and emotionally? Are you still going to be that girl? Are you still going to feel like you all of that? Or are you going to be so upset with yourself for allowing yourself to allow this man to get you pregnant, and he never, ever, ever had a plan to do good by you? And if he do good by you, he's doing it because he feels pressured from the family and friends. These days, men do not care enough to rush and marry a woman. They will keep you in that baby mama position forever. And you will always feel like you have to overly explain yourself to somebody when it don't work. See, a lot of women have never had that question. Y'all go from having no kids to having a kid by a dusty. And then y'all think y'all can fix this man and he'll come and change. And he don't. So then what happens is you're out here with a child and you meet another man. And that man has to ask you about your life. And you have to tell him, I have a child. And you know what they're going to ask you every time? What's the relationship like with you and your ex? And they're gonna say, was he your ex-husband? Or is this just your baby daddy? And you're gonna have to be honest and say, yeah, it's just some dude, that I was messing around with at the time. We was in a relationship. We was moving too fast. You're gonna have to always, always, always overcompensate, and always, always, always come up with a reason as to why you allowed yourself to be in that situation, because men are going to judge you off of it. Especially if you're a girl that wants to be. If you're a girl that don't even want to be in a relationship, this don't matter for you. You can go on. But if you're a girl that wants to be married and have the best option, actually have a good, loving husband, there is a chance that the man that you just allowed to get you pregnant right now, out of desperation, will not be there for you. And there is a good chance that you will have to go back to the streets and find another man. And if that turns out to be the case, then baby, you're going to have to explain constantly over and over again how you ended yourself in that situation of being a baby mama in the first place, because men always have questions. Women do too, and they're going to talk about you behind your back. I'm the type of friend to tell you to your face, you didn't make a good decision here, girl, but hopefully it works out for you later. Hopefully he does everything you want him to do. Marry you, put you in a house, all that stuff. Don't mean you'll be happy, but I mean, maybe your image will be saved. So ladies, learn from my friend that had a baby with a man that she didn't even know for a year. Lives at home with her parents. I think he does too. They are going to have to rush and pick their lives up and rush everything together to save their image and to make it look like they are a happily, beautiful young couple, when in reality, they are a struggling, trying to figure it out young couple. Don't allow that to be you, okay? Just don't. Do better. Make sure that that man puts a ring on your finger, puts you in a house, a push gift, and all that. All of that. With me, you know we have to figure out what we can do better. So we have something we can take away from every situation. So let's get to it. For Diddy, don't ever get too big on your high horse and thinking that things will not come back to you, because they will. Okay? With Hallie and DDG, don't go out here and allowing a man to willingly make you into a baby mama when you are so much more than that. You are somebody's wife. You are a prize, and you are worth fighting for. And you are worth having a man who doesn't disrespect you online or at all. And if you're dealing with a man like that, don't be with him, let alone have a baby with him, okay? How many times we got to say that? Especially for the older women. For the young girls, sometimes you might mess up because you're supposed to be young and dumb. But when you get in 28, 29, 30, honey, there is no excuse to go out here and doing these stupid, silly things. Work on it and do better. And when it comes to this hurricane with Helene and Milton, only thing we can learn from this is make sure you got your insurance in check. Make sure you got some money in the savings account for the fact that you might have to evacuate if you live in a city or area that is known to have flooding, tornadoes, or any type of natural disasters. And on top of that, when you hear it's time to go, don't stay, because material things can be replaced, but you cannot, okay? And when it comes to this election year, don't talk about who you want to vote for with nobody, because it might be your last time talking to them, and it might be your last time voting at all, because you might be so over it you never want to do it again, okay? So that's that for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. And don't forget to do 1% better a day. Get your bag and stay out the way. Okay, now check out my earrings, y'all. Quit playing. All right, peace. Y'all have a good one.